Good day everybody, welcome back to another AutoCAD 650H1 video. Today's video in the rebuild series, we are going to replace the valve seals. Clearly on the other engine, the valve seals had failed. You could see where the oil had leaked out. We're not going to use that head, we're using the spare head we had off the original engine that blew up after less than 1,000 kilometers. Technically we probably don't have to replace these valve seals, but considering that these parts have been sitting around for 10 years, we're going to put new valve seals in. So let's get started. So hopefully what the game plan is to use this special valve spring compression tool. We're going to push down on the springs, pull those keepers out, pull the spring and that out. We're going to pull the valve seals off and replace it with the ones that came in the kit, as you can see right here. Hopefully. Let's hope I didn't waste my money on that tool. Have enough room. I can get that top keeper out, and not quite for the bottom one. Oh, it just fell out. Back this off. Pull this spring out. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull the valve out. Try these pliers. Oh, just like pulling a tooth. Got it off. I'm gonna put some, coat it with some break-in oil. That's the new valve seal here. Might as well fill that up as well. Now I got a 3/8 socket. This is going to fit in perfectly. And once it's lubricated up, it just amazingly just slides right up. Put the valve in. That's so perfect. Hardest part's gonna be is getting the valve keepers in, but if you just kind of get it started and then start backing it off, hopefully they'll catch. If not, do it all over again until you do. Now comes the dilemma part. This tool, valve spring compressor tool, worked perfectly for the two valves on the outside. However, this side here is that the tool rests on here, so you can't compress the spring. Now I got this tool right here, which is really made for automotive, but I am going to modify that and see if I can get that to work. Just shave it down a bit so it can grab that spring without damaging the valve seal. There's one. Fish out the other. Almost forgot to fill it full of brake-in grease. I used a socket in the beginning, but now I realized I could just manually Geez, I can't get it in the right hole. That's not a good sign. There we go. This part here is a real pain in the butt. Now we're going to put the head back on the engine, and then setting up the camshaft is going to be a separate video. So I got the head gasket, and you can see the two holes right there. It can only go on one way. So since I'm doing this one-handed, I'm going to feed that on just like so. Got the head here very carefully. I'm going to feed my string through so the timing chain doesn't drop down. Line her up. There we go. Gonna get all my bolts now. If you guys remember these massively long bolts, we're gonna get those all put in place. I'm just gonna snug these down, not tighten them because you have to properly torque them. Head gaskets are very important. If you don't have them torqued properly, you are gonna have, oh shit boys, see that? That's why I got the zip tie on it. It's gonna feed it through that hole right there so it doesn't decide to fall down on me again. Head bolts, crisscross pattern, 40 foot-pounds of torque. There we go. Go to this corner. Then I'll go to the top. I just did up all the smaller bolts, like this one's over there, two right here, one right there. Can put the coolant pipe back on, so just gonna clean that up a little bit. This is my coolant pipe. Put the new O-ring on there. Just gotta steal the old guide from the old head and install it. Well, I'm going to end the video there of doing the valve seals on the head and putting the head back on the engine. Couple things. Having the proper tool to do the job would make life a whole lot easier. Like the valve spring compressor tool, I had to modify one. And the one I bought that I thought would work, only worked for 2. That's half the battle right there. Now, installing the head. Word of advice, when you are putting the head back in, I realized afterwards that it'd be better to put the chain tensioner on the head before you put it in. I put it in afterwards, and it was a little bit of a struggle, and I dropped it down below, and I had to fish it out, which means I would have been screwed if I couldn't get it out. I would have had to remove the head to get it, and then buy another head gasket. So keep that in mind. Well, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for watching. And this is one of these things, if you were to do this day after day after day, you would be able to lean this out and find little tips and tricks. Keep that in mind. I'll talk to you guys in the future.